Hello manga and anime lovers, I'm Branch, and today I'm going to be talking about Too Many Losing Heroines, Episode 9. Oh man, this arc just continues to be good. This might be my favorite arc of the series so far. Not only because it has to do with my favorite side character, Komori, but also because of just how good everything is. So to just sum up the gist of this episode, and the main points that I really like before I get into the minutia, is that, like I predicted, Komori works herself to the bone. Too hard, she collapses, she has to stay home, and then everyone moves up to help her. I think, however, it's in the little bits and pieces of this episode that are the parts that really matter. Especially, I like the conversation between the two club leads and Nukumizu when they talk about how they were trying to set Komori up to be a leader, and yet they may have put a little too much on her shoulders at once because she's trying to not rely on anybody because she wants to prove herself as a capable leader who can do everything on her own. And that just doesn't work, especially when you are an actual leader. You can't do anything on your own. In fact, I would posit that leaders don't do anything. They just help other people to do stuff. They're the ones who facilitate communications and tell people how to go about their tasks and make sure everything's organized. And maybe they take on a couple important parts themselves, but they don't do most of the work, which is where Komori is messing up here. Before I get any further than that, I'm going to back up and go a little bit in chronological order. So we start off by having a very, very funny interaction between Anna's rival Karen and Nukumizu with a bunch of cliches, but my favorite part is Nukumizu is comparing Karen to being 8K because she has all that, and then he sees Anna and he immediately says, "Oh, it's 4K," and that made me laugh a whole lot. That was one of the best jokes in the show. And then we have another little scene that I was going to actually skip over until I remembered it. When Nukumizu presents the sweets that he made, quote unquote, to Komori to present at the cultural festival, and she's complimenting the sweets, and he's trying to say, "Yeah, my sister made the sweets," which of course, another win for Nukumizu's sister. She is swiftly rising up the ranks in my favorite characters of the show, which is a really tough position because everyone's in the top 2 tiers. But Nukumizu is constantly trying to get Komori to compliment him on something because he feels like he does nothing. He's saying, "Oh, I picked out the wrapping. Isn't that nice?" when it's just a plastic bag. And then she compliments him at the end to humor him. That was absolutely amazing. Any scene with Nukumizu and Komori is guaranteed to be incredible. And then we get what I would say the inciting incident of this episode when Komori and Nukumizu run into the two club. They're not both club presidents, but the two top people in the club. They run into them. Well, they see them at the bookstore on a date, and that's when it kind of really hits Komori what's going on, what she's lost. Even though I think she has accepted it already, like I predicted before, because she put her feelings out there. She's able to move past it a lot sooner than Lemon and Anna were able to. But on the flip side of confessing is that she has permanently altered her friendship between these two people. So now she can't go out with them, on all of their outings. She can't hang out with them all the time. And she's really feeling that loneliness because these two people were the ones who first reached out to her when she got into high school as a loner. And while I think she's letting her shyness get the better of her, because I'm sure these two would love to hang out with her like they used to every now and then, but she is correct in that she has to take a step back to allow these two childhood friends to move on into dating. When two of your friends start dating, you can't just, be with them all the time. You got to give them some space. And she doesn't want to do that because she sees these two people as her whole world. They're the only people that she really respects. And I think she's narrowing her vision because of this, because she's not seeing all the other friends that she's made in that time. I mean, Nukumizu is probably the best example of this. I've talked about that countless times before. But also, Anna is a decent friend to her. Lemon is a really good friend. And she has many, I guess, really good acquaintances in school, too. So she's not going to be lonely after her two senpai move on after they graduate. But she's so, I guess, paralyzed by the idea of them leaving that she's not able to rationalize this. And, you aren't able to rationalize feelings, so what are you going to do? But this just makes her work harder and harder, and eventually, like I said, she collapses, and she has to stay home. And again, I say every scene's my favorite scene, but this is another one of my favorite scenes, when Nukumizu, I guess he took her home, him and the teacher, the very suspicious teacher, took her to her house, and I really loved that. I loved seeing Komori's younger siblings, because she's mentioned them a couple times, and I forgot to talk about it. She's mentioned she has younger siblings. It looks like she only has two, a brother and a sister. She might have more. She probably does. But I really liked that we got to see a lot of their personalities, a surprising lot of their personalities for like the, couple minutes they were on screen for. And most importantly, Nukumizu got to meet them too. And now I'm going to get into the part that kind of ruffled my feathers, I guess you could say. Not in a bad way, but in a oh no way. Because now I think that the show is setting up Nukumizu and Komori to get together by the end. I was so sure he was going to get together with Anna. That just seemed the best way to go. But as they're moving more and more to focus on Komori and her relationship with Nukumizu, I think that's the direction the show is going to go in. Or at least it really wants me to think that. Because even Anna brings it up at the end, that she thinks that Komori has already found someone to, not replace, but to move on to from her previous crush. And I assume she means Nukumizu by saying that. But I don't think that she's entirely correct. Whether or not the show wants to go in that direction, I don't believe Komori wants to move on right now. Because her main worry is not that she didn't get to date the person she had a crush on, but that she might have ruined her friendship. She's more concerned with maintaining her friendship and proving herself than she is about any romantic feelings right now. So I don't think she is attracted to Nukumizu quite yet, but it might go that way in the future. It's just something to keep an eye out for. But because Komori cannot come to school, Nukumizu forces her to stay home. And basically, they compromise where she can write the, the presentation or maybe the pamphlet. I can't remember what it was. And then him and the class will set up everything in the classroom. And that's what they do. And everyone comes in. I thought it was a little cheesy, but it was kind of nice. All the characters we've known, except for Anna's childhood friend and Karen, because we haven't explored them yet, and I think we might at the end of this season, if this arc is not the last one. And I'd be more than happy with this arc being the last one, because if it gets to be longer, that's just more for me. But everyone comes in and they set everything up, and then that's when Anna has that conversation with Nukumizu. And I think it's at these points when Anna's strength is really apparent. She's the one who called everyone into the club room, or the classroom rather, and she's the one who is actually surprisingly observant of other people's emotions and how they feel, even if she kind of fails for that herself. And Nukumizu is also like that too. Him and Anna are the same, whereas they can see that for other people clearly, but they can't see that for each other. And that's why I think the show was setting them up to be together, and they still might end up together at the end, because even though they're nothing alike, at that most important level, they're almost completely in sync. Whereas him and Komori are on the surface level, they are very similar. But I have a feeling that they're a lot different deeper down. I mean, Nukumizu used to be kind of shy and not confident, but he has pretty much grown out of that because of his interactions this season, whereas Komori has not. But I believe she will after this. This festival will allow her to finally say goodbye to her senpai with a smile and be able to realize that she's not, while she is kind of losing something, she is not losing everything. She still has a whole lot left for her last, I think, final 2 years in high school, maybe final year. I don't remember what year they're in, but yeah. A couple of things to mention before I end this review is that I really like seeing everyone's costumes for the Halloween section. I wish we got to see more of what they're planning, but I mean, the story's not focused on Nukumizu's classroom. I think it was his classroom. It's focused on the club, so what are you going to do? But I like seeing the costume, and poor Anna being compared to Karen is absolutely unfair. And then this one guy who gives Nukumizu the evil eye because he's talking to Anna, like, oh, hey, chill out, guy. Who are you? And Nukumizu thinks that he's pursuing Anna. And Anna gives a very vague answer at the end of the episode. So I guess we'll see more on that, perhaps. I'm not sure. I don't think Anna's ready to move on yet, so it's probably this guy's just pursuing her with a single mind. And then after that, of course, the final scene where the teacher is trying to film on Nukumizu because she thinks they're going to do something when they're just having a conversation. And then the title drops, which relates to that. And I just thought, oh, it's so good. The title drops in this season are just really good. The Lemon episode, when it ends with a title drop of, what was it? The Other Side of a Happy Ending. If you really think about it, that means a whole lot. It means a whole lot of different things, and it's really heavy. And then this one, it was, what was it? Think of your teacher as a stain on the ceiling and continue. That is just funny. I love this show. This is definitely my favorite anime of the year so far. With that being said, that's about all for me from today. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye.